starting lineups. No surprises para sa Coca-Cola Tigers. Ito rin yung kanilang naging starting lineup when they won over the Santa Lucia Realtors last Friday. At para naman sa San Miguel, abay ganun din. You have 11-year veteran Olson Rosella. And this ball game is underway. Ang ating mga opisyales, crew chief tonight will be Joey Kalungkagin, and he will be joined by Art Herrera and Wilbert Arnold Kunan. Libo, magandang hapon sa Nico Halili kasama si Alan Gregorio and Richard Del Rosario para sa ABC Sports. And Ali Peak starts the scoring this afternoon. And obviously, all eyes, at least for the first period of this conference, will be on the imports.
That's right. Alam mo, Miko, itong si Chris Burgess, talaga ang ganda ng pinakita nung first game. And right now, he's starting very well already for Coach Joey Chico, scoring the first 2 points for the San Miguel Beermen.
In the meantime, itong si Jaja Richards, he has a lot of proving to do.
That's right.
Here's Arigo, was named best player of the game last Friday, despite shooting a little over 20% for the game. Siya pa rin ang napiling best player para sa Coca-Cola.
Of course, what mattered most during that game was he was able to lift his team to win against the Santa Lucia Realtors, scoring 19 points. But more important, ang 13 points na yun ang galing sa fourth quarter.
And he did not miss from the charity strike. Ali Peak waiting down low. Too many big bodies inside. Here's Ontiveros. They leave him open. And he makes it pay.
Napakadali naman yata nung tinira na yun. Ito si Don Ontiveros. Of course, he's not yet well scouted by Jaja Richards. Could have closed out on Don Ontiveros.
2 minutes have gone by in this ball game. Here's Arigo on the right side. Side ball game at 4. Wala na kay Antonio on the left side, guarded by Danny Seigle. Antonio on the move, and there is a bump. Mula kay Danny Seigle, holding foul. That will be his first.
But you know, Miko, no, I'd like to talk about Jaja Richards. The last time out, he only scored 8 points for his team. He only attempted 7 attempts. I think for an import, kailangan siguro mas maraming touches ang makuha niya. And to be able to score at least in the 20s, although he scored he had 16 rebounds. Yung scoring talaga, yun ang very important for him to get the respect of the San Miguel Beermen.
Velasco. Here's Seigle getting away from Will Antonio. Oh, this is not a good sign.
Alam mo, masakit talaga yan, ha? Parang tinamaan siya sa alunod, no? Yung sa shin, itong si Danny Seigle, I don't think that's a very serious injury there. He's holding on to his shin.
You know, you have to remember, in 2002, Danny Seigle tore his left Achilles tendon. So we're trying to check kung anong paa yung iniinda niya, and it happens to be the right.
That's right,
So at least it's not that left foot. Kasi if it was the left foot, that would be a major cause for concern. But Seigle is still in the ball game. Slightly bothered by that fall as Burgess gets the steal. Here's Rosella. And now Velasco. Top of the key. Seigle on the right side as we near the 9-minute mark of the opening quarter. Following Danny Seigle, ay mukhang hindi na yata siya hindi na siya bothered nung iniinda niya kanina.
Ano pa naman ang kailangan gawin doon ni Will Antonio, no? He challenged him hard on that shot. Pero may kita mo talaga that effort of Seigle.
Johnny Barrientos had a solid game last Friday, 8 points. He also had 9 rebounds and 6 assists. In the meantime, here's Rosella. Nice pass from Burgess. Richards is there, and you have to give credit to Jaja Richards. Stood his ground that walang mapuntahan doon si Burgess.
Puro red shirts na nakita natin doon sa paint. They would want to stop ito si Chris Burgess from scoring inside. But the last time out, you know, scouting report on Burgess, pag iniwanan mo sa 15-foot area yan, titira pa rin yan.
Tigers down by 2. Antonio to Ali Peak, who scored the first basket of this ball game. Outside Antonio, fakes, goes left, bounce pass to Barrientos, 2 to shoot. Antonio fires to beat the shot clock, offensive rebound para kay Arrigo, and he knocks it home.
4 points already for John Arrigo. Good rebound that time for the Coca-Cola forward.
Arrigo finished with 19 points in that win over the Realtors, and he ties the game at 8 all. Under 8 minutes to go in the opening quarter. In the basket count side kay Joey Kalungkagen for Danny Seigle.
So how do you stop a Danny Seigle? Kanina, no, tumira siya sa labas, dalawang sunod. Nung nilabasan naman, itong si Seigle, he just left itong si Will Antonio. And now, he's posting up Will Antonio.
Now, kung mapapansin ng ating mga kaibigan, especially by the San Miguel fans, the Beermen are actually undermanned. Nung huling laro nila, wala po si Danny ay wala pa rin siya ngayon. And here's more on Ildefonso from Richard Del Rosario.
Well, tama ka nga dyan. San Miguel will continue to miss the services of Danny Ildefonso in this ball game. Noong off-season, nagpa-opera siya to remove bone spurs in his left ankle. So, in his absence, kailangan yung mga other big men of San Miguel would step up their ball game. Back to you guys.
So talagang itong si Danny ay ang mukhang has to be healthy, no? Para maganda-ganda ang magiging kalagayan ng San Miguel dito sa conference na to. But with the game that ito si Danny Seigle is playing, they're not missing Danny ay at the moment.
Barrientos, cross-court to Arrigo, picked up by Ontiveros. And now here's Richard. Mano a mano, laban kay Burgess. Outside to Ali Peak. 8 to shoot. Ali Peak, one-hander. And he has perfected that move.
And also 4 points right here for Ali Peak. We're in the first quarter. So Ali Peak is doing the offensive thing that Jaja Richards is not giving here in the first quarter for Coca-Cola.
Under 7 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Tight ball game. Hook shot ni Burgess no go. And now here's Johnny A. Inabot para kay Richards. Richards, nahuli pa si Danny Seigle.
You know, ito si Richards, sinasabi ni Coach Eric Altamirano, this guy can really run the break very well. So he will have to prove himself. Hindi lang yung nakikita sa mga takes ang puprove dito ni Richards. This time he's really playing in front of the crowd.
First basket para kay Nick Velasco, a three-pointer. And that will make it a 13-10 ball game in favor of San Miguel. As we near the 6-minute mark of the opening chapter of this ball game, Arrigo, papasa para kay Antonio. Antonio shoots over Racela. Offline, rebound para kay Burgess. Burgess had 22 big rebounds in that win over Alaska. Here's Racela from the corner, inside of Burgess. Burgess outside, Seigle. Ball movement being displayed here by the Beermen. Tapos yung tira ni Velasco, and Barrientos has the basketball. Richards on the move, lost the ball. So far, struggling in the first quarter itong si Jaja Richards. In the meantime, referee Cunanan calls an offensive foul on Olsen Racela.
That's right, Nico. You know, one thing very clear is Richards is trying to outrun it to see Burgess early here in this first quarter.
Well, this is a rematch of sorts. These two teams met in the 2003 Reinforced Conference. That series went the distance at Coca-Cola po ang nanalo in 7 games. At dito nangyari yan sa Araneta Coliseum. I remember covering that ball game. Coca-Cola Tigers, a very proud, young but proud franchise.
Alam mo, maganda talaga yung pinapakita ng Coca-Cola. Yung kanilang winning batting average is, I think, very, very high. You know, but ito, may kita natin dito yung advantage of having a Danny Seigle inside the paint. He can score from the outside. He can penetrate the gaps. And what can Danny Seigle not do in a ball game? Here in this, a very awesome start indeed. 23 points. 3 out of 3 from the three-point field goal. 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Galing.
And he's coming off an awesome stint dun sa nakaraang semifinals against Ginebra.
That's right. Ito si Danny Seigle. Talagang napaka-sarap makita, no? Na talagang nakabalik na. Ito si Danny.
Rebound nakuha ni Burgess. That will be the third rebound for Chris Burgess. Import po ng San Miguel. Here's Velasco inside of Burgess. Laban kay Richard. They swing it over to Racela on the right side with 12 to shoot. As we near the 5-minute mark of the opening quarter, turnaround ni Racela wala. Sumabit po si Johnny Abarientos. And that will be his first personal foul.
You know, one thing that's very clear with the San Miguel offense, ano, iniiwan nila si Burgess to operate inside. Tapos lahat ng shooters nila, sineset up na lang nitong si Burgess. So kapag medyo malayo ang pinanggagalingan ng depensa, tulad nitong si Johnny Abarientos, that's the time for the likes of Olsen Racela to attack the defense of Coca-Cola.
That is also the second team foul laban sa Coca-Cola. Roderico Cesar Olsen Racela. He had 9 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists against the Aces last Friday. There's Eric Altamirano. I saw him entering the south gate of the Big Dome, and I gladly welcomed him back. And he said that he's happy to be back.
That's right. Pareho pala tayo nung pagkakalapit dito kay Coach Eric. That was the first thing I told him. Sabi ko, welcome back, Coach. At talagang masayang-masaya naman. Tayo nakikita natin dito si Coach Eric.
Arrigo. Boy, it has been a difficult first period here for Jaja Richards. You know, the Coca-Cola coaching staff has actually given him a second chance because he failed to impress the fans inside the Phil Sports Arena last Friday.
That's right. But you know, he just has to be involved in the offense. Tingnan natin kung pwedeng tumakbo ng tumakbo. But so far, no, wala pa rin naging contribution. Ito si Jaja Richards. All of the points coming from Arrigo, Ali Peak, and Johnny Abarientos.
San Miguel po ang lamang, 15 to 10 with under 5 minutes to go in quarter number 1. And here's Ali Peak throwing it down. Ali Peak now with 6 points to lead the way for Coca-Cola.
Ito si Ali Peak being set up very well by his teammates. Hindi naman niya pinapahiya, no, ang mga pumapasa sa kanya. Ito si Ali Peak.
And you see that sweet Cebuano touch of Dondon Ontiveros. He has 4 markers in the ball game. At balik sa 5 o balik sa 7 ang lamang ng San Miguel.
And that would be so much of a problem para dito kay Coach Eric Altamirano if Seigle and itong si Dondon Ontiveros will start connecting from the outside.
Okay, the correct score is 17 to 12.
Oo, 5 points.
Yan ang ating tamang talaan. 17 to 12 in favor of San Miguel. And Ali Peak has been leading the way for the Tigers in this ball game as he throws it down with that Yakult slam dunk.
Para nagulat pa si Burgess doon, you know? He had an effort in stopping ito si Ali Peak, but still Ali Peak was able to make that dunk.
Akala siguro ni Burgess lilit lang itong si Ali Peak at babagal-bagal lang.
That's right.
Surprise, surprise. Here's Racela. Peña, by the way, is in the ball game for the first time. Pinalitan po si Nick Velasco. Here's Seigle. Turn around. Met by Jaja Richards, and that's a foul.
And indeed, ito si Danny Seigle is very aggressive, at least here in the first quarter. He really feels there's so much mismatch. At sa pagbabantay sa kanya nito si Will Antonio, amigo.
So that will be the first personal foul. Laban kay Jaja Richards. Yan na po ang pangatlong team foul laban sa Coca-Cola. Jaja Richards having a running conversation with Art Herrera. And Danny Seigle makes the first free throw. And Antonio sits down at si Rafi Rivas naman ang papasok sa ating ball game. Rivas, just like last Friday, is coming off the bench. Nung kanilang huling laro, he had 10 points and 11 rebounds.
So ito si Danny Seigle now making 2 out of 2. 3 minutes left here in the first quarter, and San Miguel is on top by 7 points, 19 to 12.
So far, it's a scoring duel between Danny Seigle and Ali Peak.
That's right. Ang mga imports dito, no, tahimik na tahimik pa, especially to si Burgess. Alam naman natin what he's capable of doing. Look at this great pass right here to Olsen Racela.
As Arrigo is called for the foul, dito sa Grand Macedon Rally 2005 PBA Yes of Conference. Na-jet lag ba itong si Jaja Richards? Well, apparently so. He only had 8 points only had 7 field goal attempts, although he did have 16 rebounds.
Oh, he did his contribution para kay Coach Eric Altamirano. But you know, as an import, you really have to score in the 20s or even in the 30s to really help your team. Kasi ang pinag-uusapan nga dito, will you get the kind of respect that you want from other teams, Miko?
Tigers throwing the ball more often than the Beermen. Kaya naman po itong San Miguel. Another 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Peña, nakuha po ang rebound. Denver Lopez, ang bagong taga San Miguel, lumipat po mula sa Red Bull Barako. Burgess, drop step, fakes, fires, no. Tulak po mula kay Ali Peak. Nahuli ni referee Arnold Punanan. And that will be number 2, laban kay Peak. At si Huinyo agad-agad pinasok sa ating ball game dahil nasa first quarter pa lamang tayo. Uupo muna si Ali Peak.
Pero alam mo, Miko, if you're gonna observe very well, ito si Burgess at saka ito si Danny Seigle, they have exactly the same moves pagdating sa poste. That just shows the basics of these people. Ang gandang panoorin. Ito si Big Birch.
Maybe that's why Djokovic Higo wanted to get Denver Lopez from Red Bull in a trade involving Brian Gohol. Lopez hitting the 3. That's his first field goal as a San Miguel Beerman.
Yeah, I think that's his first 3 points for the Beermen because the last time he didn't score.
Here's Arrigo. Trying to shake off Ontiveros. Ontiveros bit into the fake. That's going to be a foul laban kay Dondon. And that will be number 1 against Ontiveros.
So Arrigo is the one who's trying to take charge right here. Jaja Richards still scoreless with only 1 minute and 42 here in the first quarter. Ito si John Arrigo so far with 4 points in this ball game. But he has taken so many attempts already, Mix, huh?
Which is nothing new for John Arrigo.
That's right. I think he's got the go signal to
Mula nung sumali siya dito sa Coca-Cola. You know, he went 5 out of 22 and normally that is horrendous, but he did score 19 points, 13 coming in the fourth quarter.
Oh,
that's what mattered the most.
Importante dyan kung kailan niya in-score. Nung winning time, give it to me. Yun ang importante ginawa doon ni John Arrigo for that first win against Santa Lucia Realtor.
Si Anton Viloria pumasok na rin sa ating ball game. Pinalitan po si Dondon Ontiveros. So tanging si Chris Burgess at Danny Seigle na lamang ang natitira mula sa starting lineup as you look at Edwin Bacani coming in for John Arrigo.
So here's the thing that we've been waiting for. First 2 points for Jaja Richards.
There's that move. Avenido, wala. And there's the putback by Jaja Richards. May kasama pang foul. You know, Richards has been around. He has played in the USBL, IBA, naglaro sa China, Brazil, Italy, Ecuador, Uruguay, Mexico, Puerto Rico. He's been all over the place.
That's right. So Jaja Richards with this third point. Pero ito na naman, si Danny Seigle, talaga ang dami ng ginagawa dito. At paiba-ibang tira ang pinapakita niya sa atin dito.
And Rivas scores quickly para makasagot naman itong Coca-Cola. San Miguel labang 26-19. You know, this production by Danny Seigle, it creates this argument na ang San Miguel hindi naman talaga kailangan ng import na super scorer.
That's right. You know, we felt na itong si Burgess already scoring 22 points. Ang ganda ng mga pinakita niya. But we've got to remember that Danny Seigle in that game scored 23 points. At ngayon, nasa first quarter pala tayo with still 58.6 seconds ang ginagawa nitong si Danny Seigle. 14 points na.
Here's that move. There was a bump. Si Edwin Bacani tinawagan ng foul kanyang una. Penalty na po ang Coca-Cola Tigers with under a minute to go. And you know, normally, yung mga local players, kapag may import, kadalasan bumababa ang scoring production. Parang dito kay Danny Seigle, baliktad pa ata. Mukhang balak pa niyang dagdagan yung mga ginawa niya nung Philippine Cup.
Alam mo, yan yung advantage, right? Si Burgess being a team man, mukhang nare-realize niya na hindi niya kailangan gumawa ng masyadong maraming puntos para makatulong sa kanyang koponan. So, yun ang ginagawa niya, is setting up his teammates, specifically itong si Danny Seigle.
Here's Bacani, hinahabol ni Denver Lopez. Bacani on the move, Bacani all the way.
Completed play right here for Edwin Bacani. First 2 points as a redshirt of the Coca-Cola Tigers.
29-21, lamang pa rin ang San Miguel with time running out here in the opening quarter. Seigle is parked on the right side. Now he goes to the top of the key. Gets the pass from Lopez. Swiped by Bacani. He is called for the foul.
So yung effort na yun ni Edwin Bacani, medyo napasama para kay Coach Eric. Nangihinay si Coach Eric, sinasabi niya, free throw yan eh.
Oh, dahil kanina pumasok na sila sa penalty situation. You know, you get this great sense when you watch San Miguel play. And even with Burgess around, parang ang ganda nung ang ganda nung ika nga nung amuyan nilang magkakasama.
Alam mo, itong si Coach Jong talagang magaling humanap ng effort to. Nababagay sa kanyang kupunan. If you remember the last time, ito naman si Art Long. No? There were games that he was scoring only 4 points or 6 points but would get about 30 to 35 rebounds. But yung kanyang kupunan naman talagang hindi mo matatawaran yung talent niya.
17 big points in the first quarter for Dynamite Danny Seigle.
And are we in the first quarter?
Oh boy, Dynamite Danny exploding here in the opening quarter. And he is called for a foul, however. Yan po ang kanyang pangalawa with only 10 seconds to go in the first period.
Isa pang napakagandang development para dito sa San Miguel, of course, no? Si Skywalker na si Samboy Lim, ang kanilang bagong team manager. Is a very, very exciting person to work with.
Oh, there's Jaja Richards finally imposing his will with a slam dunk. He has 5 points today, 2.5 seconds to go. Viloria, ibabato na lamang to. Diyan po magtatapos ang first period. In this first quarter, Dynamite Danny Seigle exploded for 17 points. Kaya't lamang ang kupunan ng San Miguel 31-23 laban sa Coca-Cola Tigers. Ito po ang second chance para kay Jaja Richards to prove. National team head coach Chod Reyes. Of course, although yung kanyang pinagtutuunan ng pansin ay yung Team Philippines na, hindi naman maiiwasan na pinapanood pa rin niya yung kanyang Coca-Cola Tigers.
Siyempre, siyang nag-set up niyan, ano? Just like any other coach who sets up a team, you would want to watch how your former team improves day by day.
And he's also watching yung mga players who are included in that list of 21.
That's right. Of course, si Danny Seigle, hindi na natin questionin na natutuwa. Itong si Coach Chod, nakikita niya kay Danny Seigle.
Nagsimula na po ang second quarter sa pagitan ng Coca-Cola at ng San Miguel. The Tigers begin the second period with Poch Huino, Rafi Rivas, Jaja Richards, Leo Avenido, and Edwin Bacani. Richards inside, Burgess with a rebound off that miss. Si Burgess meron na pong 4 na rebound. Para naman sa San Miguel, andyan si Burgess, Viloria, Lopez, Peña, at Velasco. Bacani left open, and he can't put it. Richards rebound, and he gets smothered inside. He will take 2 free throws.
So he's getting his job doing those offensive rebounds. Ito si Jaja Richards.
Si Peña po tinawagan ng foul kanyang pangalawa. Interesante rin dito sa ating ball game. Actually, I wouldn't mind if the team managers right now will play. I really won't mind. You have the director on one side and you have the Skywalker on the other side. Tama ba kasama ang Richard?
Tama yan, Miko. Bagit yung nga kanina, si Skywalker, si Samboy Lim, nandyan na sa San Miguel. Ngayon naman si Hector Calma. Dagdag mo pa si Coach Alan Kaidig na team manager na Ginebra. Tapos si Cap, Alvin Patrimonio. 4 na yan. Kulang na lang dyan sentro. Baka pwede na ako mag-apply. Matinding first 5 na yan. Ano sa tingin niyo mga idol?
I was really expecting that. Ito talaga si Richard. Alam mo, pwede pa naman to. Medyo out of shape lang ngayon yung kaibigan natin yan. Partner, medyo magpa-condition ka pa.
Well, while Richard was providing that report, Jaja Richards with an air ball from the free throw line.
But this is just a 7-point lead, very manageable. They just have to make their stop. But not if Don Ontiveros will hear us just like that.
7 points today para kay Don Ontiveros. Balik sa 10 ang kalamangan ng San Miguel. Beermen actually led by as many as 12. Back in the opening quarter. Avenido, binapasayan ni Lopez. 6 on the shot clock. Bola na kay Bacani. Pull up is good.
So si Edwin Bacani, proving himself dito kay Coach Eric Altamirano. A shot over the outstretched arms of Don Ontiveros that time.
And that will slice down San Miguel's lead to 8 points. As we near the 10-minute mark of the second period. Peña may taka ng bola. Peña pumihit. Nahuli sa likod ni Richards pero bola mananatili sa San Miguel with 7 to shoot.
This is a more aggressive Coca-Cola Tigers that we're watching right now. They seem to be challenging all the shots of the San Miguel Beermen.
Here's Burgess. Can't shake off Avenido. Tinawagan ng 3-second violation si Dorian Peña. Probably he was expecting Burgess to take that shot.
That was only 7 seconds. He had to go signal from his coaches to take that shot. But I think that was a good closeout by a much smaller itong si Leo Avenido.
Well, hindi naman kasi wingman talaga itong si Chris Burgess. He is essentially a big man. He really plays power forward. And now here's Pochuino on the right side. Dapat kay Peña. There's a cut by Avenido. Sumabit yung kamay ni Denver Lopez. That will be his first personal foul. And that will be team foul number 2 laban sa San Miguel.
Another player from the FEU Tamaraw, itong si Leo Avenido. Ginagamit din ni Coach Eric to challenge the offense or the defense of the San Miguel Beermen.
Hindi pareho naging King Tamaraw.
Oo.
Si Avenido at si Bacani and Dale Singson, who earlier was reported to be part of Coca-Cola, but he did not get to play for Coca-Cola last Friday.
That's right. Wala pa raw siyang parang license or something. It's not injured. He's just waiting for that thing.
Maging planchado lang yung flat ng papeles.
Yun na lang ang hinihintay niya. So as of the moment, hinihintay na lamang niya. And he's already practicing with the Coca-Cola Tigers.
Here's Lopez. 6 points na lamang ang kabante ng San Miguel sa mahayang 12 points. Richards with a rebound. Over 9 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Rivas on the left side. And they swing it over to Huino. Huino. Laban kay Peña. Dumps it inside to Richards. Richards. Great footwork displayed by Richards that time.
So you can see the advantage of Richards. Itong si Dorian Peña giving him a
friendly nudge.
Yun ang ayaw.
Paramdam lang ng konti. Here's Burgess. And now Ontiveros. Oh, Burgess wasn't looking. Tumama yung pase ni Ontiveros sa likod ni Burgess. Here's Avenido. Stops and will have to reset. They have 16 to shoot. Over 8 minutes to go in the first half. Bola na kay Bacani. Bacani shooting well today. Bacani fires and it's short. Ontiveros on the move. Ontiveros crossover dribble. Ontiveros all the way. And the basket is good. May kasama pang foul.
Medyo malambot yung pagkaka-foul doon itong si Poch Wino. He was expecting na itong si Don Ontiveros will charge on him. Pero magandang footworks na pinakita nito si Don.
Ontiveros part of that list of 21 candidates for the national team. Makes the layup, may kasama pang foul. And he can make it a 7-point ball game.
So another guy playing very well for Coach Dongoy Chico, number 7, Don Ontiveros, to up the lead of San Miguel to 7 points, 37 to 30.
Here's Rivas. Over to Huino. 10 to shoot para sa Coca-Cola. They are down by 7 points. Richards asking for a clear out. Laban kay Burgess.
So he shows us a thing or two Pagdating sa posting up, great drop step that time by Jaja Richards against Burgess.
Only the first personal laban kay Chris Burgess. 30 years old na po itong si Jaja Richards. Nag-aral po, naglaro, no, para sa Loyola University in Illinois. Sa NCAA sa Estados Unidos. And ako, bad news for Coca-Cola. Danny Seigle is back in the game.
At ang pinalitan niya itong si Dorian Peña, who's not scored in this ball game. Jaja Richards, medyo hindi rin maganda masyadong forma from the free throw line, Miko.
Parang push shot, ano?
Ano yung import ng Pure Foods, no? But they're doing their things. They're doing their thing inside the paint. And that's
Each
what...
his own. Basta, ang importante, basta pumasok. 7 to shoot para sa San Miguel. Oh, Danny Seigle is left wide open. Seigle finished the first quarter with 17 big points. Kaya naman lamang itong San Miguel with 7:45 to go in the first half. Here's Richards, top of the key. Finds Avenido with 9 on the shot clock. And out to Rivas, 6 to shoot. Rivas goes baseline. At may foul na nakita si Joey Kalungkagi.
Maganda yung pinakita na yun na move nito si Rafi Rivas. After face up, no, ginamit niya yung baseline. He felt he had the speed advantage against Danny Seigle that time.
Now that is the third personal foul of Danny Seigle, kaya siya umiiling.
So that's a big development, ano? Of course, if you don't want somebody to score, you attack him on defense. Pahirapan mo sa depensa para lalong mapagod or mailagay mo sa foul trouble, and that's what happened this time to Danny Seigle.
Danny Seigle, namimiligro yung kanyang stint on the hardcourt, at least as far as the first half is concerned, after picking up his third personal foul. Rafi Rivas naman po, siya yung tinanghal na most improved player ng PBA back in 2003. He gets a split from the line to cut down San Miguel's lead to 6, and the Beermen throw the ball away. Babalik ang bola sa Coca-Cola as Arrigo and Alipik check back in the ball game.
So it was a very good stint, ano? 5 points for Edwin Bacani. Well appreciated ni Coach Eric Altamirano, ano, yung pagkagamit niya na yun kay Edwin Bacani.
You know, he's playing quality minutes so far. Nung unang laro ng Coca-Cola, he scored 4 points in 10 minutes. Showing that same quality performance off the bench for Coach Eric Altamirano. In the meantime, bola babalik to San Miguel. Inside pass for Burgess, masyadong malakas, and the ball goes back to Coca-Cola.
So 2 straight passing errors this time for the San Miguel Beermen. They want to get Burgess involved pero hindi nakakakuha ng bola kung saan dapat. Ito si Chris Burgess.
We are nearing the 7-minute mark of the second quarter. Here's Arrigo, outside Rivas. Rivas, high looper.
That's really the improvement of a Rafi Rivas. Now we can take those leisurely 15-foot jumpers. And Coca-Cola claiming that meron daw double dribble itong San Miguel.
Action continues. Here's Ontiveros, fires a 3. Yes! At yun na po, ang pangalawang 3-pointer ni Dondon Ontiveros, and he has 13 points. Second leading scorer ngayong araw na ito para sa San Miguel.
Pero ang kanilang import, ano, hindi pa rin masyadong nakakakuha ng kanyang puntos. So si Chris Burgess.
Arrigo. Ikot-ikot. Pinasa ngayon rito. And the basket is good.
Dondon Ontiveros claiming that it was him who fouled. Ayun, tama nga. He had to do it because si Danny Seigle na inaatake ng opensa nitong Coca-Cola already has 3 fouls.
Second personal foul laban kay Don Ontiveros. Here's Arrigo. Finding Rivas inside.
Kamontik na.
Kumama yun no?
Kamontik na, oh. Buti nila yung nakita yung nasa ilalim. And I thought that whistle could have gone against Seigle. That could have been his 4th foul. So sinabi nga ni Coach Jong, teka lang, mukhang sugal tong ginagawa ko, inaatake nila si Danny. Kaya pinahinga niya na.
So on the floor right now para sa San Miguel, Chris Burgess, Nick Velasco, Anton Gloria, Don Ontiveros, and Dorian Peña. Here's Ontiveros, who has yet to miss from the field today. Burgess, puting ng magaw ng bola. Here's Viloria. Viloria on the move. Outside Ontiveros, and hold on. Pito po mula kay referee Joey Calungkagin. It's a foul against Johnny A. Pangalawa, laban kay Barrientos. That will be number 2 against Coca-Cola. May timeout po tayo. Mula rito sa Big Dome, 5:54 to go in the first.
Nothing personal. Everything's just about professionalism. Of course, now playing for the Alaska Aces after that trade with John Arrigo.
I have to tell you though, I spent a lot of time at the Moro Lorenzo Sports Center. Diyan nag-ensayo yung national team. Diyan din nag-ensayo ang Alaska. And it actually looks weird, no? Parang nakapanibago na Jeffrey Carriazo just walking by at hindi siya kasama dun sa mga ensayo ng national team. Nakakapanibago, but that is the reality of the situation. At ayon naman dun sa master plan ni Coach Chotres, they're really putting a premium on youth.
That's right.
Kasi long-term plan.
Kasi alam mo kung hindi mo bibigyan ng exposure talaga yung mga bata, when is the right time, para sila mahinog, kung yung mga gagamitin yung mga hinog na. So I think I really admire Coach for that decision. Political rin yan, yung ganyan tapang din yan.
It's a gutsy call na hindi mo isasama si Carriazo, Racela, Barrientos. I mean, these are still players who are still at the top of their game. But ang hirap din naman kasing hindi pansinin yung mga ginagawa ng mga Alapag, Helterbrand, Cortez, Miller. Yan talaga. You gotta make gutsy calls. In the meantime, ang oras na natitira sa ating second quarter, 5 minutes and 24 seconds. There's Olsen. Makaway-kaway po.
Siya raw ang foul, alam niya kung nasan yung camera, Itong si Olsen Rosella.
Well, he's been in the league for 11 years. Alam niya kung saan nakapwesto yung mga camera.
Ito si Jaja Richards making his first free throw. So he'll be double figures after this shot.
Olsen probably knows pinag-uusapan natin siya.
Sinasabi niya, okay lang ako. Iwan na natin. Okay, iwan na natin sa mga bata yan. Because nung minsan naman siya rin yung bata.
Jaja Richards now in double figures with 10 points. Meron din siyang 6 na rebounds para sa Coca-Cola. At malapit na itong Tigers down by as many as 12 points kanina. And now it's just a 2-point ball game. Here's Velasco. Over to Seigle. And Rivas running over Ontiveros. That's going to be his first personal foul.
They're fighting the screens. Itong Coca-Cola Tigers, they don't want Danny Seigle to get those touches. And look at the respect of Coach Eric Altamirano here kay Danny Seigle, putting a much taller Rafi Rivas.
Well, the good news for Coca-Cola, hindi pa pumupuntos itong si Danny Seigle here in the second quarter after scoring 17 back in the first period.
Yan ang tinatawag natin na defensive adjustment for the coaches. With Chris Burgess so far with only 2 points. So he's being outplayed by Jaja Richards up to this 5-minute mark of the second quarter, Nico.
Racela fakes. Racela fires. Offline, Burgess with a rebound. Outside to Velasco. Si Burgess, meron na pong 7 rebounds. Here's Burgess. Hook shot, tapos na naman.
And again, the challenge of Jaja Richards in the post moves of Chris Burgess taking its toll on the offense of the San Miguel defense.
Alipig. Outside Arrigo. With under 10 seconds to shoot. 6 seconds to shoot. Arrigo fires. And Velasco with an authoritative rebound. Over to Racela. Racela, lob pass, Burgess, down low, easy two.
Great pass right there by Olsen Racela. So you can see that Chris Burgess can run the break very well. They're on top by 4 points, 42-38. At least na-involved na, sa opensa. Again, ito si Chris Burgess.
Rivas. Arrigo. Laban kay Seigle. Remember, Seigle is nursing 3 personal fouls. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Arrigo leader. Yes!
Walang reaction. Mukhang talagang counted doon. That was very, very close, I thought, Miko.
Nonetheless, yun ang pang-8 puntos ni John Arrigo. And he cuts down San Miguel's lead to 2 points. Under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Seigle still looking for his first basket of the second quarter. Samantala si Ali Peak meron ng 3 rebound. Abarientos on the move. Abarientos is fouled. He will take 2.
And again, the matchup of Johnny Abarientos and Olsen Racela. Abarientos getting the better of Olsen that time. Will take 2 free throws.
So pareho na itong si Danny Seigle at si Olsen Racela na may tigatlong personal fouls. On the line is Johnny A. Nabagit natin, he had a solid game against the Realtors as he missed his first free throw. 8 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals.
At ang daming nagsasabi, no? Is Johnny Abarientos over the hill? So yun, sinagot mo na, Mick. Ayan, making his second free throw. Just a 1-point lead for the San Miguel Beermen. And look at the defense that's being employed right here by the Coca-Cola Tigers.
There's a trap on Racela. Easily finds Velasco. 3:20 to go in the second quarter. Seigle over to Burgess. Burgess with 4 points so far. Burgess bustling his way inside. Tumulong si Johnny Abarientos. Bola mananatili sa San Miguel. Nice help defense provided by Johnny A.
And the timing of Johnny A is really still there. He knows perfectly well that there would be a drop step coming from Chris Burgess.
3 to shoot. Yun po ang unang mintis ni Ontiveros. Coca-Cola can go for the lead here with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Down by just 1. Bola na kay Arrigo. Arrigo outside of Abarientos. Ali Peak. Shot block by Danny Seigle. Here's Racela. Danny Seigle too quick there for Will Antonio on a one-on-one basis, pero ang daming tumulog doon. And it's Abarientos who gets called for the foul. That will be his third. Kami po ay nagagalak na makasala ko yung lahat ngayong Miyerkules ng hapon. You're looking at Chris Burgess, ang import po ng San Miguel Beermen. Yan, a solid game. Nung kanilang unang laro, 22 points, 22 rebounds, 10 out of 15 from the field. May 4 shot blocks pa.
Yeah, but what's more impressive is the 66% shooting of Chris Burgess. He really chose his shot, although he was not the highest pointer because Seigle during that game scored 23 points. Yung solid all-around performance for an import, no? Yun ang what matters most for this guy, who's only got 4 points right now, Miko.
Well, in a sense, okay lang yun dahil ito si Danny Seigle may 19 points na po. Although lapas ang field goal, he had 2 free throws. He had 17 back in the first quarter. Balik sa tatlo ang kamante ng San Miguel Beermen with over 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Here's Arrigo. Guarded by Racela. And now Richard. Back to Abarientos. Swings it over to Arrigo. Arrigo with 4 to shoot. Arrigo fires. Go! Almost got it to roll. And we have a jump called by Art Herrera.
Sayang, ano? Very patient yung naging offense doon ng Coca-Cola Tigers, but you've got to be happy for the effort of Judge Richards and was able to get that loose ball.
So this will be a jump between the imports. Chris Burgess para sa San Miguel, Jaja Richards para sa Coca-Cola. San Miguel po ang nanaig, and Racela will have an easy layout. That's a goaltending violation laban kay Arrigo. Malinaw na malinaw po yun.
Napakita lang niya kung kaano pa rin siya kataas tumalon. Itong si John Arrigo challenging that shot of Olsen Racela. But back to a 5-point lead for the San Miguel Beermen with barely 2 minutes left here in the second quarter.
Here's that layup. Malinaw na. Tumama na sa backboard. 4 points ngayong hapon para kay Olsen Racela. And we swing back to live action with 1 minute and 55 to go in the second quarter. Bola na kay Arrigo. Arrigo Goes to Abarientos with 7 to shoot. Binalik kay Antonio. Antonio to Abarientos. Three. Wala. Velasco with the rebound. Nabangga ni Antonio.
All of a sudden, itong San Miguel Beermen challenging the shots of the Coca-Cola Tigers from the outside. You can see the yung adjustments na ginagawa dito ni Coach Jong at ni Coach Eric every time they call the timeouts. But ito very clear dito na yung adjustment ni Coach Jong is more on the challenges at sa opensa nitong Coca-Cola.
By the way, both teams are in the penalty with 1:29 to go. In the first half, as Marcela connects on a TM three-pointer.
5 straight points for Olsen.
Balik sa 8 ang abate ng San Miguel as we near the last minute of play dito sa first half. Richards hindi mo mahawakan ng bola. Natapik palabas ni Burgess. Bola mananatili sa Coca-Cola with 12 on the shot clock.
At yung sinasabi natin, yung defensive struggle na ginagawa ng San Miguel, hindi pa nakukuha nito si Richards yung bola. Tatlo na yung white shirt na nandun to make life miserable for the Coca-Cola import.
Yung masikip yata yung pasa para kay Ali Peak. Natapik palabas ni Burgess muli. And now this will leave Coca-Cola with just 6 seconds on the shot clock. Baseline inbound para kay Bacani. Pero bago po ang lahat, may 30-second timeout na hiningi ang Coca-Cola coaching staff with 1:05 to go in the second quarter.
So this is a 7-0 run right here by San Miguel. It was down to just 1 point, Miko, nung mga 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So scoreless sa last 1 minute and 10 seconds halos itong Coca-Cola.
Yeah, the Tigers actually trimmed that deficit to just a single point moments ago. And bigla naman bumulusok itong San Miguel Beermen.
Ito si Burgess, he may not be scoring in this ball game, but definitely he's making a lot of contributions. Like those top outs, hindi mo naman makikita yun sa ating mga statistics. Pero yan ang mga bagay na nakikita ng mga coaches that coaches really appreciate.
Well, these teams had strong starts nung Fiesta Conference noong nakaraang taon. Of course, that's the conference that San Miguel would like to forget. Dahil yung conference sa ang ganda ng elimination round nila, only to falter
against Talk and Text.
In the playoffs. So, hindi rin sila nakalayo.
Of course, they were beaten by the Honeycutt-led team of Coach Joel Banal. And they were led by Art Long. The very temperamental import of Coach Joe Ichigo.
The long arm of the law. Art Long.
When he wants to play, he wants to play.
Yes. And then for this conference, we have a new set of imports. And depende ano na mangyari. Maaaring maging heroes, maaaring maging characters.
So ang mga nakikita ang balik import lang dito si Edisma ng Hinebra.
We used to play for Pure Food. Here's Racela with under a minute to go in the second quarter. Ontiveros kick out to Racela. They swing it over to Burgess. Burgess won't shoot. Over to Ontiveros. That's going to be last touch on Burgess.
You know, he already had the shot, pero hiningi nito si Dondon Ontiveros. He knew that Dondon Ontiveros can make those threes. So very unselfish. Ito si Chris Burgess.
Eight points ang inahabol ng Coca-Cola. Magamat 35 seconds na lamang ang natitira dito sa second quarter. Here's Avenido. Laban kay Racela. Avenido. Outside Arrigo. 5 to shoot. Arrigo, siya na matitira nito. Mukhang siya na nga. Hindi. Pinasa pa kay Avenido. At hinahabot yung tira.
Masyadong naging matagal yung naging desisyon doon ni Arrigo. Was he gonna take the shot or was he gonna pass off? He wanted to take the shot, but he was scouted very well. Alam na alam ng San Miguel na willing siyang itira yung mga ganung mga opportunities.
Akala natin siya na yung titira noon. And so with 18 seconds to go, San Miguel trying to get the last say of the first half. They're up by 8. They led by as many as 12. Bola na kay Velasco. And out to Ontiveros. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Danny Seigle, wala. Putback is good for Chris Burgess. He has 6 points. Diyan magtatapos ang first half with the Beermen holding on to a 10-point lead, 51 41. So bagamat nakalapit itong Coca-Cola, trimming down the deficit to a single point. The Beermen finding ways to get back on top. Ayun, yung follow-up. And Chris Burgess. Lamang ng 10 ang San Miguel Beermen, 51-41. Both teams looking for their